Hi, hope you're having a great day. You're watching JFG Entertainment, and for this video, I'm going to be talking about the new Disney lawsuit. Yes, I know there's like a billion Disney lawsuits in the past years. It's kind of crazy to see how much trouble they're getting into. But this lawsuit is specifically around Marvel characters and Marvel rights and copyright and all that type of stuff from comic book creators trying to sue Disney to get those rights. And it's a little bit more complicated than that, and I'm going to explain it in a little bit. But that's basically what the lawsuit is going to be about. And in this video, I'm going to give you a quick explanation about it, probably like the simplest form. Not going too much into detail, just giving you the simplest information, because I'm assuming many of you already know about this lawsuit, and for you that don't, then you can just get the basic info in this video. And then I'll tell you two different perspectives of this lawsuit. I'm gonna give you the perspective morally, like who's morally correct. Is it Disney or is it the creators of these characters? Who's morally correct? Who do I think is correct? And then second, the business side. What effects is this also going to have on the MCU, on the characters, on Disney, on the creators, all that stuff? I'm gonna give you all that good info. So definitely have to watch the whole video to get those two perspectives, as well as a quick recap on this lawsuit that I definitely think that you're going to like a lot. So I definitely think that you're going to enjoy this video, so make sure to watch it all. But before that, please make sure to leave a like. It would be very helpful, especially if you end up finding this video informative. Then you should definitely leave a like, and don't forget to leave a like because it's very helpful for videos. So if you could leave a like, then please and thank you. As well as subscribe for more videos like this. I've done countless of videos on analyzing things like this. I did a bunch of videos on Scarlett Johansson's lawsuit against Disney. I'll leave the links down in the comments. And I've done a lot of other analysis videos like this, so definitely make sure to subscribe if you want more analysis videos like that. And check out my playlist JFG Analysis, which will be linked in the corner. And lastly, make sure to comment down below. Whose side are you in? Are you in the comic book creator side, or are you in Disney side? I'm definitely curious to hear different people's thoughts. I know so far social media opinions are going to be like kind of mixed. I've seen a bunch of mixed opinions, so I definitely want to hear your opinion down below. Okay, now let's get started. Okay, so what is this lawsuit? Well, I'm gonna put it in this video in the simplest form possible, and that is that comic book creators are trying to get a copyright percentage of the characters that they created years in the back, including characters like Iron Man, Spider-Man, Loki, Thor, Black Widow, Doctor Strange, all type of characters. They're trying to get part copyright of the characters, as they did create these characters years back. But obviously now Disney owns them, so they're trying to get some partial copyright so they can get a cut of the profits, and they could use those characters as they want as well. So that's what they're trying to do. Meanwhile, Disney obviously doesn't want that because they want those characters, so Disney's suing them for trying to do that, and it's that type of complicated situation. But basically that's the main premise. They're gonna go to court to choose who's in the right and who should get if the content creators should get part copyrights of those characters. But until then, it's gonna be very long, so they might settle, they might not settle. I'm definitely gonna give you my prediction on what I think is going to happen at the end of the video. But that's basically it. It's just fighting for copyright character rights. Disney wants the whole copyright thing 100%, and the content creators want part of it because obviously they can get full, but they want as much as they can so they can get a cut of the money and hopefully be able to do other stuff with the characters. So that's obviously why they want it by, and I think that's very interesting that that's happening. That's not the first time that we've seen this happen. We've seen this happen with Jack Kirby in the past, as well as the Superman creators. So it's not the first time that it's happened before. However, I think it's the biggest time because at this time there's a bunch of comic book creators, not just like one at a time. No, this time it's like Stan Lee, and there was a bunch more in there. So yeah, it's very interesting that there's a lot now, and it's funny because they're represented by the same lawyer as the Superman one and the Jack Kirby one. So that's really funny. In my opinion, like they chose the same lawyer. That's pretty cool and pretty funny. And Disney also chose the same lawyer that they used to fight the Jack Kirby one and the Superman one. So that's very funny and very ironic. But yeah, I'm definitely very curious to see how this settles. But that's the basic lawsuit, basic premise. I hope it was simple enough to understand. Cross the fingers. That's just the simple premise. There's a lot more to it. You can check out other videos on it. I'm sure there's countless videos on YouTube explaining the lawsuit, but I'm going the simplest form possible just to get to the two perspectives that I want to cover, which is the moral perspective and the business perspective. So let's start with the moral perspective. Who do I think is actually right morally? Like, do I think Disney's right morally? Or I think the comic book creators are right morally for wanting a certain cut of the copyright for their character that they created years ago, like really long ago. Well, if you can tell me my wording, I'm 100% on the comic book creator side. I think that to them wanting credit for them wanting benefits for creating those characters is makes complete sense, and then wanting copyright power over those characters that they created, I think makes 100% sense. I mean, they created these characters that now make trillions of dollars. Iron Man. I mean, Iron Man is huge. Spider Man is massive. Doctor Strange is about to be even like massive, massive. So all these characters are just huge, and the fact that many comic book creators don't get a lot of money. In fact, we've heard stories of some of them just being in the streets, being poor, not having any money, barely having anything to eat. Stuff like that is just sad. Whenever their characters that they created are making billions of dollars for these big corporations that have so many money to spare, and they don't want to pay their comic book creators. So I'm definitely 100% on the comic book creator side for wanting to have profit from the characters that they created. I think it's 100% fair, and I definitely support that a lot more than big corporations not wanting to lose money, because Disney is pretty cheap. Let's be honest, Disney's pretty cheap, and all they want to do is not lose money in this case. But oh well, I guess they really should pay in their comic book creators and for the characters that they're using fairly, and they would have never gotten dismissed in the first place. So I truly do believe that the comic book creators are right. Including like the comic book creator Winter Soldier was saying how he barely had any money, despite the fact that Winter Soldier just had his own TV show and his TV show was massive and that type of stuff. So it's very interesting to hear all these type of stories, and it's really sad. For example, I know, like, if you were to name, if you were like to ask who created Wonder Woman, you probably wouldn't know. If you were to get asked who created Batman, you might know, you might have a higher chance of knowing, but you probably still wouldn't know. Or if I asked you who created the Flash, you probably wouldn't know either. So stuff like that is just really, really sad. Who created the Hulk? Who created Hulk? Who created this character? Who created this character? I mean, most people only know Stan Lee as a comic book guy because he gets shown in the movies a lot. But other than that, most people don't know comic book creators. So it's really sad that most people don't know them, and also that they don't get any money from them, or they get barely any money from them. So I think morally, this is the right way to go, and I think hopefully this inspires other comic book creators to sue them too, and hopefully they can get a cut of their money as well, because I think it's only fair for them to get money for them to live well from the great characters that they created that now people are loving and enjoying. Now, from the business perspective, what does this mean for the MCU? What does this mean for the characters? What does this mean for the Disney and that type of stuff? Well, let's start with small scale. What does this mean for the characters? Well, if the content creators do end up winning this lawsuit, and that's only if they do end up winning, because it's not confirmed that they're going to win, and there's a very strong fighting chance that Disney might win, as well as there's a very strong fighting chance that the content creators will win. So it's a pretty even, I would say 50-50, maybe 55 to 45. It's pretty close. So it's quite interesting to see who's going to win this case. I'm very curious. But if in the case that the content creators do win, the comic book writers do win, then they might be able to use the characters for other things, especially in other countries where there's a lot less strictness over the copyright. For example, maybe not in the US, because the US might not allow it, but if you go to places like Canada, you might be able to use your characters for other things. For example, there's a Canadian company that's doing, I don't know, water bottles, and they want to put Spider-Man on it, then they could probably do Spider-Man on it only with the comic book writer's permission. They don't need Disney's permission. They will only need the comic book writer's permission. It might go into movies, but there's not really any Canadian huge studio that does movies, so I don't think that's what's going to happen. But maybe other studios, maybe in other places, that might happen. Who knows? But that could happen theoretically. Even though I don't believe it's going to happen, just because I believe that they were just going to sell them back to Marvel to make even more money, and then they'll be set. They won't want any of those characters. They'll just enjoy life. But I do think that will be a chance in case somebody wants to try something new with them and take them to a different company to see what they want to do with other characters. It could be a chance, but I don't think it's possible. I just think that if the content creators do win, I think they're going to get their characters and then sell them back to Disney for them to have 100% full claim on the copyright. So that way the comic book writers can be happy with the big paycheck and just enjoy the rest of their life happy and smiling and living the best life that they possibly can. So I think that's how it's going to play out if they do end up winning. I think these characters are just going to go back to Disney no matter what. Whether they win or lose, it's just a matter of how much money they lose while doing it. Will it be a little bit or will it be a lot? That's basically what's here at stake. Now, what will this mean for the MCU in the case that the comic book writers will win? Well, like I said, I don't think that it's going to be a big thing. I think they're just going to send it back to Disney, meaning that the MCU will be perfectly fine. The MCU is not doomed. I heard a lot of people saying the MCU is going to come to an end because of this lawsuit. It will not come to an end. There's no way it's going to come to an end. I'm pretty sure Disney's going to bring up the big bucks just to get those characters back. And because the MCU is just the golden egg of Disney right now, it's making massive money all over the place. We're seeing Shang-Chi's box office robbing the actual box office that no other movie could have ever done. Is doing great. We saw Black Widow did great. We're about to see Eternals do great. We saw Spider-Man No Way Home break records on the trailers, all that type of stuff. So Disney's not done. They're not gonna let these characters go. So if the comic book creators do win, then Disney's just gonna pay them a huge big paycheck, and then they're gonna get the characters back, and then Marvel and the MCU can do whatever they want with them, just as like if nothing happened. It's just like I said, how much money is Disney gonna lose while getting these characters? But the MCU is gonna be perfectly fine. They're not gonna lose anything. At worst case scenario, the comic book writers might not want them to keep going in the MCU, and they want like other studios to try out with them. But I don't see that happening. It's really like 1% chance. So I really don't believe that. I just think that it's gonna be exactly like normal. So I don't think there's any repercussions in this, except for the fact that now comic book creators will get a lot more money, a lot more compensation for this, and hopefully credit in the movies for the characters that they created, which would be great. And like I said, moving on to how will this affect Disney. Disney's just gonna lose money. Like I said, it's just a matter of how much money they lose. I'm sure Disney does not want to lose at all. Like Disney's a pretty cheap company. They tried their best to not lose, to lose as little money as possible, which is why these comic book creators are mad because they barely get paid. But this might change in this lawsuit. This might not. They could maybe just settle this for like a little bit of money. I mean, the last lawsuit that they had about this, like in 2014, 2013, something like that, with Jack Kirby, I think they gave out like 50 million to him. So it's definitely gonna be very expensive for Disney for sure. But it's fair. I think it's pretty fair, and I think that's what's eventually will happen. I don't think it's going to court. I think that they will settle this because court is going to take a long time, which ends up being really expensive for the comic book writers as well. And if they don't have a lot of money, then they're not going to be able to keep up with this fight. So I think they're going to just settle this outside of court before this gets full on court. And they're going to get their paycheck, maybe 50 million, 60 million, maybe a little bit more, since now these characters are making more money with Disney Plus shows and everything. So maybe like 70 million, and they'll all be happy and enjoying their life. That's what I think is going to happen. And that's how I think this lawsuit is going to end, which I find pretty fair in my opinion. I think this is a fair lawsuit. And I think everybody was freaking out about it on Thursday for everybody kept exaggerating. These characters are going to lose Marvel, the MCU is doomed. No, everything's going to be perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. Calm down, chill. If somebody's telling you that, then just tell them, no, it's okay. They're just going to get the characters back. Like I have been saying throughout the whole video, it's just how much money Disney loses on getting these characters. Hope that helped clear up a lot of confusion, and hope that gave you two different perspectives, the moral side and the business perspective on what's going on with this lawsuit and the situation. I definitely find this situation very interesting, and I'm definitely very curious to see how this will eventually end up. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Really hope you found it informative, and I really hope it calmed your nerves a little bit, because I know there was a lot of people freaking out. So hopefully now you're a little bit more calm. So crossing fingers. But definitely make sure to leave a like if you find this video informative and enjoyable. It's very helpful, so please leave a like and thank you. As well, subscribe for a lot more videos like this. I'm going to link a Scarlett Johansson lawsuit video right here in case you want to check it out. I would definitely recommend it. Especially if you enjoyed this video, then you definitely want to check out that video, which is actually way more informative than this video because the lawsuit is way more interesting. So if you want to check that out, then definitely recommend it. As well as other videos like this other video that I just made about how to make a box office hit during the pandemic. The rules have definitely changed from pre-pandemic, so I definitely analyzed a bunch of box office hits, including Shang-Chi, Free Guy, Jungle Cruise, Cruella, all type of movies, to give a formula of how to make a box office hit, giving you 5 key points on what it takes to make a box office hit during the pandemic. So if you're interested in that, it's a very heavy analysis video on the box office, on how this whole industry business works, and all that type of stuff, then definitely make sure to go ahead and check that out. I definitely will enjoy it if you're into all that type of stuff. So definitely make sure to check that out. As well as a bunch of other videos, I'll definitely make sure to leave a link down in the playlist down below, so you can check out in the comments what other videos I have, and I definitely think that you enjoy. So yeah, As well as leave down in the comments down below what you think of the situation. Do you agree with the comic book writers? Like, yeah, they deserve money for this, for the creations that they created, or do you agree with Disney? Like, no, like they created these characters for a company, and now Disney owns that company, so it's Disney's right to have 100% on these characters. Definitely make sure to tell me down in the comments down below what are your opinions on this lawsuit. I'm definitely very curious, so definitely make sure to tell me down in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and this is Jared Entertainment out.